What's going on, everybody? Welcome into the Pack a Day podcast. I'm your host, Andy Herman. You can follow me on Twitter at Andy Herman NFL. Fun show for you today. Going to be going over some bold predictions I made before the season, giving you plenty of opportunity to make fun of me for a few of them. I got a couple right. We'll go over that in just a moment, but also make some bold predictions for the remainder of the season. Before we get there, a couple news and notes. First of all, Jaire Alexander returns to practice. Sort of big news, right? So not every day you get an all-pro corner, arguably one of the top 2 or 3 corners in all of football, back on your, at least on your practice field. It's interesting, right? So, going before the bye week, there was sort of this momentum building that, maybe Jaire and Za'Darius were going to be ready to play following the bye. There was nothing substantial, just kind of some whispers here and there. And there were some, Instagram posts from Z that, featured Jaire, if you want to get into cryptic tweets and things like that, that's a whole nother story. But there was at least maybe some hope there. And then, there's been the hope all year long that at some point Jaire Alexander and David Bakhtiari and Za'Darius Smith would be able to return. And Matt LaFleur reiterated that same talking point that they're hopeful. There's no guarantees, but they're hopeful that they're going to be able to return at some point this season. And then we get out, after the bye, and we get to our first Wednesday practice. And lo and behold, no Za'Darius Smith, no David Bakhtiari, no Josh Myers, but Jaire Alexander returns, but in very limited capacity, right? No helmet, not participating in team drills, just some individual. That's not to say that it's not great to see him back out there. That's not to say that, this obviously opens up the IR window where they're going to have the opportunity to bring him back at some point. It certainly seems to be trending in the right direction for Jaire Alexander to return at some point this season. But I feel like the cloud is still there, right? Like Jaire still has hurdles that he has to overcome and get back in game shape and things like that. Za'Darius, no sign, no individual practicing, no nothing like that. David Bakhtiari, same thing, no sign of practice. So there's still a ways to go here, and there's no guarantees. And Josh Myers, it seems like, is probably the furthest away of all of them. And Za'Darius has been sort of this entire cryptic season, right, where you haven't been able to get a seemingly straight answer out of the Packers. Is it just a back? Is it a back and something else? Were there other issues going on? And of course, we know that a back injury can be something that lasts this long and continues to flare up and have issues. So there's good news here. There's no question about it. Jaire Alexander is back practicing, and that is awesome. That is an amazing thing to see. But there's still sort of this injury cloud over the Packers where if you want to see them make this deep run into the playoffs, you're really hoping it's not a be-all, end-all that they have to have all these guys back, or necessarily any of them. They're playing great football right now, even without some of those guys. But you would love to see as many of those players return as possible. And right now, of all 4 that are injured, including Myers, only Jaire practicing and only in individuals, no helmet. So there still seems to be a ways away for that collective group. But great to see Jaire Alexander back on the field. On the other side of the football for the Chicago Bears, other injury news, they get good news. Justin Fields will be back this week. Now, if you're a Packer fan, which I'm assuming you are since you're listening to this, I think the great thing about this is it's Wednesday when it was announced, and the Packers are able to know and go into this week knowing who the quarterback's going to be. There are 3 potential quarterbacks that it could have been this week, because remember, Dalton's banged up. He's got a left hand injury. You had Justin Fields with the rib stuff. Like, Green Bay could have potentially had to prepare for Foles, Dalton, and Justin Fields. Now, you might be saying, well, Andy, is there really that big of a difference? Maybe, maybe not. I think there's differences in styles, right? Certainly Dalton and Fields are mobile, or a little bit more mobile than what Foles would be. Fields, the most mobile of them all. Dalton, you're not going to be able to fool quite as easily with different blitzes and, unique defenses like you might be able to Justin Fields. So there's a variety, there's sort of a variety of different defenses that you may play against these individual quarterbacks. So the fact Green Bay gets to know on Wednesday, huge advantage. And, man, for a coach that's on the hot seat, to say the least, it's just such a weird decision, right? You could definitely play this off and say, hey, we're going to give Fields and Dalton and I guess Foles the entire week to see who's going to start at quarterback. Instead, they just come out and say it. Fields is starting, and now Green Bay knows. So it's great for Green Bay that they get to prepare for which quarterback will be, in fact, be starting on Sunday. And again, that will be Justin Fields. Last but not least, I wanted to quickly touch base on Mark Murphy because yesterday when Rachel and I did our, person within the organization who would have the benefit gain the greatest benefit from their, of their legacy by going out and winning a Super Bowl, we failed to mention, and I failed to mention Mark Murphy. And it's interesting as we were recording yesterday, Mark Murphy was in my mind. Like I thought Mark Murphy. And then we just didn't get around to it, or I didn't go over it for whatever reason. But he's certainly within the realm of being mentioned in that. And I mentioned yesterday, I thought there were 4 real, personalities or people within the organization that can benefit the most from a Super Bowl win with their legacy. And that's Rodgers, Gutekunst, Davante Adams, and Matt LaFleur. But Mark Murphy's certainly on that list as well. He was around when they won the Super Bowl in 2010. So he certainly has that under his umbrella from when he started. But this would certainly be another really big, notch for him to get a second Super Bowl trophy during his tenure. So no doubt about it, he deserves mention in that conversation as well. A couple people pointed that out on Twitter, including Aaron Nagler, and they're 1,000,000% right. He deserves to be in that conversation. All right, let's go through some bold predictions. So I've got 10 bold predictions for the remainder of the season that I'm going to go through in just a moment, but I figured it would be fun. I did write an article, and I'm pretty sure I did a video as well about my 12 bold predictions earlier in the season. This was prior to the season starting. So again, I think you'll get a kick out of some of these. Some of these hit, some of these were pretty darn close, but let's go through them one by one. Again, more than anything, you could just get some ammunition towards me, I think. But number 1, I said the Packers would start 7-0. Miss. Technically, they started 6-1. However, I'm sort of throwing away that Saints game as a last preseason game for Green Bay. That was a warm-up game for them. I'm not totally counting it, and after that, they did win 7 in a row. So either way, wasn't super far off. They certainly did not beat the Saints, so I will take it as an L, but I sort of kind of take it as a win if you kind of consider that Saints game as a throwaway. I know it's not, and I definitely have to take this as an L, but I wasn't too far off on that one. Number 2, I said Adrian Amos would have the best season of his career. I think the jury's still out on this one. I think what he does in the last 5 games and in the playoffs will go a long way in determining this, but it is absolutely within the realm of possibility that Amos could have his best season in the NFL. He is having a great season and, a few big games to end the year, and that would definitely be within the realm of possibility. Number 3, Robert Tunyan makes the Pro Bowl. Not so great on that one. And even, take the injury out of things, he was not trending in any direction to be a Pro Bowl caliber player this season. Certainly could have had a big end of the season, who knows, but slow start followed up by, injury that takes him out for the year. And that one is going to be a big loss. Number 4, Rashawn Gary leads the team in sacks. Season's not over. Preston Smith, pretty close to him and still could overtake him, but Rashawn Gary is in the lead right now, so as of right now, I'm counting that one as a win because I need it. Number 5, I don't even want to utter this one out loud because it's that bad. Royce Newman will finish the season as the NFL's as PFF's top-graded rookie offensive lineman. That is not the case. Rashawn Slater is somewhere, he doesn't know why, but he just had a giggle but over this. But Rashawn Slater's been an absolute amazing, athlete in his very first season. There's other offensive linemen that are, of course, having a really nice season as well. Royce Newman, kudos to him for, starting the vast majority of this year and holding up okay at times, but he's nowhere near ready to be a top tier rookie offensive lineman, even in this, his first NFL season. Number 6, I said the Packers would go 6-0 in the division. I like their odds of going 5-1, but as of right now, they are only 2-1 and already lost to the Vikings, so that one is an L. Number 7, I said that Eric Stokes would start ahead of Kevin King before the season is done. That has sort of happened already, although mostly due to injury. But even still, I think if Green Bay was starting a game today and had to choose between Stokes and King, I think they would choose Stokes. I'm not 1,000,000% sure, but I'm like 99% sure. So I'm going to take that one as a win. Number 8, I said Nathaniel Hackett will get a head coaching job by the end of the year, in 2022. I think there's a good chance that happens. We'll have to wait and see, but I think that's within the realm of possibility. Number 9, I said Jordan Love would have his Aaron Rodgers Cowboys moment, meaning when he got to come in for Brett Favre and show what he was capable of. A win-loss here. Yes, Jordan Love did get his start and get to show what he was capable of. A loss in the fact that, unlike Rodgers, Love did not show, okay, maybe there's something here where he's ready to start sooner rather than later. So in in the realm of what I was looking for when I said that bold prediction. Definitely was not the case. There's still a few games left. Maybe he could do that. I don't think anyone is necessarily hoping to see Jordan Love on the field instead of Aaron Rodgers at any point, and right now he's on the COVID list, so not looking likely, but he did get his opportunity to step in and actually play snaps, legitimate snaps against the Chiefs. So I'm going to take that as a half-truth. Number 10, I said Rodgers, Crosby, Preston Smith, Cobb, and King will play their last snaps as Green Bay Packers. I think Crosby, Preston, Cobb, and King are still very much in that camp. Rodgers is just going to be a major wait and see. Who knows? Number 11, I said Devontae Adams will break Jordy's receiving record. Jordy had 1,519 yards when he broke the record. Adams is going to need to average about 100 yards per game through the remainder of the season, within the realm of possibility. I actually think he will do this, but still up in the air. And then last but not least, I said the Packers would lose in the Super Bowl to the Chiefs. Let's hope that's not the case, but that is still within the realm of possibility. All right, those were my predictions. Prior to the season, I'm going to lightning round the remainder of these predictions. So these are as of today. I'm saying these as of Thursday, my bold predictions for the remainder of the season. Number 1, the Packers will run the table for the rest of the regular season, finish with Matt LaFleur's usual 3 losses in a year. This year it'll be 14-3, but there could certainly be a slip up here or there, but I think they have a real opportunity to finish 5-0 through the remainder of the year. Number 2, Rashawn Gary will get double-digit sacks. He's got a ways to go. He's going to average almost, he's going to have to get, I think, 4 in the last 5 games. I think he will do it. I think he can do it. So I'm going to say Rashawn Gary, double-digit sacks. Number 3, this is based on no inside information at all, but just a prediction. I'm going to say Jair Alexander and David Bakhtiari do return to play this season. I'm going to say Myers and Za'Darius do not. I hope I'm wrong. I'm hopeful that all 4 will return at some point, but I'm going to predict Jair and Bakhtiari do end up playing. Myers and Za'Darius do not. I'm going to say that number 4, Rodgers has the best postseason of his career. Immaculate career for Rodgers, but at times has struggled in the postseason. That has a lot to do with the teams that he's playing and going up against good defenses during those times, but I still think Rodgers' best postseason is ahead of him, and I'm going to say that that's this one, this year, in this postseason. Hopefully that's the case. Number 5, A.J. Dillon crushes it for the remainder of winter. We finally are in December, January football. Lambeau Field cold. A.J. Dillon, that's his time to shine. I think he's going to really crush it the remainder of this season. Number 6, Packers get the number 1 seed in the NFC. They overtake Arizona for that spot. Of course, winning out and going 5-0 the remainder of the schedule would certainly help that cause. They would still need Arizona to lose at least one more game. I think that happens. I think Green Bay gets the number 1 seed. Number 7, Josiah DeGuara. He really elevates his game and becomes an X factor on this offense. Somebody that really can kind of swing a game and be sort of, again, that X factor game in and game out. I think it's going to take until the end of the year, maybe even the playoffs, but watch out for DeGuara to make more of an impact the remainder of this year. Number 8, the Packers go all season without allowing a 100-yard rusher. It's going to be tough. They still got 5 games to go, but I'm going to say that they continue that streak and do not allow a 100-yard rusher on the season. Number 9, Goot finds one more key in-season acquisition. He's already found Rasul Douglas, Corey Bojorquez before the season, of course, Devondre Campbell. But I'm going to say that somehow, some way, Goot finds one more transaction. Maybe it's a veteran. Maybe it's a practice squad guy, either from Green Bay or for another team. He was very creative in the past couple of years. Jared Valdir, Tramon Williams. I'm going to say he finds one more hidden gem to help this team win some games. Roster building's a 365-day-a-year job. And I'm going to say that he finds one more before that, before the season's done. And last but not least, I'm sticking with it. The Packers will go to the Super Bowl. Now, I'm changing my prediction here, but my prediction before is that the Packers would lose to the Chiefs. Right now, all I'm willing to say is that the Packers will go to the Super Bowl. We'll see what happens from there. I think they can beat any team in the NFL right now. I think they are that good. I think they need some reinforcements. I think they'll get some reinforcements, and it's going to be a heck of a remainder of the season to watch as a Packer fan. That's going to do it for me today. Thank you so much for joining me. Always appreciate it. I'll be right back here tomorrow with an all-new episode with Mike Wall. So definitely make sure to subscribe if you haven't already, and make sure you're checking that out because Mike's been absolutely tremendous, and you're not going to want to miss those episodes. But until next time, and as always, go Pack Go.